Hi folks, this is Kurt Reichelt with Vermont Vermiculture, and what I'm going to show you today is how we harvest worms at the worm farm. What I have here is a wheelbarrow full of worms and bedding from one of our productive worm bins, and I have the harvester here. This is an electric powered harvester. It has 3 screens, 2 1/8 inch screens and a 1/4 inch screen. And what I'll do is I'm going to load this up and then I'll show you how this works. Some people will use a fork to load their harvester. I prefer to use my hands. That's less trauma on the worms, and I'm able to break up a lot of the clods, so we get a much finer separation at the end. It takes a little longer on the front end, but it saves you quite a bit of time on the back end. It's a lot less debris to have to sort out at the end. So we're going to let this go. I'm going to empty this out, and then we'll show you the back end. So what's happening here is, as this harvester slowly rotates, the castings, which you can see falling down on the bottom there, fall through the screen while the worms continue to travel down the length of the harvester, which is at an incline, a slight incline, where they come out at the end. And they're separated at the end, which we'll show you in a minute. Okay, now here we are on the other end. This is the bell of the harvester. And the way this works is the worms, when they hit this bell, will ride up the side, stick to it right up the side, and fall down on this side of the divider. The clumps, larger material, will roll right through in this one. So we've got right here a real nice mass of worms. It's not completely finished yet. We'll show you that next step. But these will run through. You can see we still have some debris in here, some wood chips, maybe some unfinished castings. But we've got a pretty good separation out of here. Not a whole lot of wood chips in this bed, which makes work on the sorting table a lot easier. So we'll move to that next. Okay, here we are. We're on the last step of the harvesting process. This is the sorting table. What I've got here is a couple bright halogen lights shining down on here. The worms don't like heat and they don't like light, and so this will help us to sort the worms from the debris. So I'm going to take this bucket where all the worms were that came out of the end of the harvester and just dump it on the table here. Get out of here. I got a few still stragglers. Get out of there, guys. Alright, so I got a few in there. We won't worry about that later. So I got this great big mass of worms and debris, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of try to make a neat pile out of this so the light will shine down uniformly. And already the worms are trying to get away from that heat and the light, and so they're going to dive down in this mass of debris here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this sit for a few minutes. I'm going to come back here and scrape the top layer off, and you'll see after 4 or 5 successive passes that all we've got left is a nice clean pile of worms ready to bag and ship. So we'll give these guys a few minutes to do their job, and we'll come back and see how they're doing. It's been about 10 minutes since we first dumped this bucket on the sorting table, and already we've got a good movement among the worms. They really don't like that light, so they've already burrowed down pretty far into this pile, and I'm going to go ahead and scrape this top layer off here. I'm going to get a few worms in here, but I'm not going to worry about that because I'm going to put this back in another bin, and I'm going to get those worms out of that another time. So nothing here is wasted. It all goes back, and we'll get these guys later. So this is, try to get mostly debris, not worms, but you will get a few. And I'm going to do this 3 more times probably, and that should get everything. That harvester did a good job of separating the worms from the debris. We still have a few in here you can see, but that's alright. Drive yourself nuts trying to get every single worm out of here. So we harvest more than we need, every week, and then the extra go back in the bin. So that way it's a lot more efficient for the operation. Alright, we'll come back here in about 5 more minutes. See how these guys are doing. Alright, looks like we're ready for the final sort here. Giving these guys about 10-15 minutes to get themselves settled in. And you can see that they kind of go together. They clump together. You don't see a lot of strays out on the sides. That's for protection, I guess. So yeah, this is going to be real nice separation here. We got most all the wood chips can be scraped easily off the top. We got a little bit of decomposed hay from the worm bins. That's going to go away. Oh, a good clump right there. Just try to get this as clean as possible, and then we'll be good to go. Alright, now the final process in all this is weighing these worms out. We hand weigh every order, so let's just zero that out. This is about 1 pound if I fill this up. We're going to weigh it just to be sure. Get those chips. Got an eggshell in there too. Eggshells take forever to break down, but put them in there anyway instead of throwing them out. Let's go ahead and fill this up here. Let's see what we've got. Alright, 1.14. So 1.1. Perfect. Now we're going to go ahead and we want to make sure these arrive alive. So I got some peat moss in here and the worms. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix these up. It's almost like breading chicken. You want to get each worm individually covered. That way there's plenty of passages for air to flow through. Temperature isn't going to kill a worm. What's going to kill them during shipment is suffocation, the lack of oxygen. So we want to make sure all these guys are sufficiently covered. Really good. Alright, these guys are good. A little bit in there. Alright. Now we're going to take this is about 1 pound bag right here. We're going to go ahead and fill this up. There. And you don't need to put any extra peat moss in here when you do it because there's plenty already around the worms. All that in there. Oh, there's a straggler too. Tie it off, box it up, and away they go. And here's the final product. This is 1 pound of red worms bagged up and ready to ship. This pound is going to Diane in Connecticut, and Diane's going to feed these to a juvenile robin that she has rescued and rehabilitated. So good luck, Diane, and thanks everybody for watching.